Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. Really excited to see you today. As everyone is getting in this room, I just want to give you a couple of reminders. Tell somebody you know who knows somebody else that Land Bank is live. We want everyone who can to get this information. We're really excited that you've joined us today. We want more of you to get involved in our programming. If you are from Birmingham, I want you to drop in the chat what neighborhood you're from or what neighborhood you grew up in. We want those who are part of this live webinar series to know who is a neighbor because you might have somebody who's from your same neighborhood. So, okay, I see Miss Lakedra said she's from Raleigh. Thank you so much for putting that in there. Drop your neighborhood. Let us know. Birmingham has 99 neighborhoods, and we would love to know who is in the room. So last Friday, we talked about the interest form, and I couldn't join you last Friday. I really wanted to, but I couldn't join you. I see, okay, we've got Eastlake, we've got South Pratt. That's awesome. Who did I miss? South Roebuck. Thank you, Christy. Okay, who else do we have? I've got Hillcrest. What am I missing, everybody? South Pratt. We got Riley again, North Birmingham. All right, Vanessa, she's in Pinson. Vanessa, if you grew up in Birmingham, put in there where you grew up, what neighborhood you grew up in. But if not, it's okay. It's all right. You can still be welcome from Pinson. All right. We've got Connie, who's from Collegeville and North Birmingham. All right. We enjoy that. So definitely, okay. We've got Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, from Inslee. Rep your neighborhood, where you grew up, where you live. We want you to have pride in your city, and we want you to learn more about our programs and our process to know how you can be a part of this beautiful program, an organization that we call the Birmingham Land Bank. I'm Caroline Douglas. I serve as the executive director. It's a great Friday. I hope all of you have had a great week. Get your notebooks, get your notepad, get your iPad. I don't know what you take notes on these days. I'm still a paper person. So I still do pen and paper. It just helps me learn. I see Pratt City in the chat. Okay. So get your notebook and write down what we have to share because the ladies are going to give you a quick recap from last Friday and then bring you up to speed on today. We're talking about the application. Good to see you. And I'll see you before we wrap up.
Okay, so thank you, Caroline, for that welcome. Last week, we discussed how to, I'm sorry, last week we talked a little bit about our mission, our programs, how to find a property on our website, and how to submit an interest form, all to better help you understand who we are and what we do. Today, we'll talk about how to submit your application and how to fill out your maintenance and development plan. We will also answer questions as time allows. So feel free to send one through the chat, or you can call us after this webinar at 254 2117 or 254 2414. You can also email us from the Contact Us page on our website. Now, let me introduce you to our Birmingham Land Bank team. We have me, I'm Joanne Earl, and I serve as the administrator for the Land Bank. You've met Miss Caroline Douglas, she's our executive director. We have Miss Montrese Daniels, she's our administrative analyst. Miss Chelsea Law is our public relations person. Alexandria Nixon is our paralegal. Inspector Armand Richardson is our housing rehab specialist. Mrs. Carrie Underwood is our admin analyst. And Miss Kimberly Warren is our administrative assistant. Also, we are governed by a great 7-member board. Our board chair, Director Lonnie Hannon, Vice Chair, Lloyd Watson, Secretary Jessica Bennett, Director Skylie Colson, Joel Gardner, Brad Green, and Nolanda Hatcher. You are invited to attend our Land Bank board meetings on the first Thursday of each month. That meeting information is posted on our website. Now, to recap One of our 4 programs, we have Miss Montrese Daniels.
Hi, I'm Montrese Daniels. For our lot lease program, if you are wanting more space for your home, to plant a garden, or to use for recreational activities, we have our lot lease program. Remember, it must be according to the city's zoning ordinance. This program is for citizens who own and live in their home that's near the vacant lot. It's also for nonprofits, churches, and other faith-based organizations who are based in the same neighborhoods as the eligible vacant lots. The 2-year lease agreement will allow immediate use of the lot. And at the end of the lease, we can assist in clearing the title through the Land Bank's Clear Title program so that the property can be owned free and clear of liens and all other interests.
Okay, thank you so much, Montrese, for that information on the lot lease program. Next is our Clear Title Ownership Program, and that's for those who want to redevelop, rehab, or build. It's for applicants who want to get ownership of an abandoned property, whether it's a house, a vacant lot, or commercial. After application approval and payment of the earnest money deposit, our attorney will work to clear the title in order to give the buyer full ownership, free and clear of all back taxes, liens, and other interests. Development of the property within 1 year after closing is required. Be sure to contact the city's Housing Code Enforcement Division, Planning, Engineering, and Permits Department, and the Zoning Department to ask about city requirements for your development. Our Rehab Ready, Shovel Ready program is for those who want to redevelop, rehab, or build. It too is for applications who want to get ownership of an abandoned property. The difference with this program is that the properties have already had their titles cleared by us, and so they are free of all back taxes, liens, and other interests. So you can purchase the property quicker. After application approval and earnest money payment, ownership of these properties will be as soon as a closing date can be scheduled. Development of the property within 1 year after closing is required. Be sure to contact the city's Housing Code Enforcement Division, Planning, Engineering, and Permits Department, and their Zoning Department to ask about city requirements for your development. Our last program is the AHOP program. And AHOP stands for Accelerated Home Ownership Program. It's our one-stop shop for those wanting to build a home currently in the Fountain Heights neighborhood. You must be mortgage ready, and you can use your own lender or one of ours. Houses start at $215,000, and you choose your own lot and floor plan, and we handle the rest. Once we break ground, it can take 6 months or less to build your dream home. For all programs, interested parties are required to submit an interest form and application for each property. Once reviewed for eligibility, you will be contacted with the next steps. So please be sure to check your spam folder. Now, we will have Ms. Chelsea Law demonstrate how to submit an application.
Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me, can you please say yes in the chat just so I can make sure that everyone can hear me correctly? Okay, got some yeses. All right, thank you all so much. So before we dive into the application, let's go over some of the requirement documents that you need for your application. So if you're interested in that lot lease program and you're applying as an individual, these are the documents that you need before you start your application. So you're going to need that current government or state issued ID. If you have any tax delinquent property, we want a statement explaining what happened and why did that property become delinquent. We want pictures of any properties that you own in the city of Birmingham. If you have any property violations, we want a statement explaining what those violations were or are and whether they were resolved. We want a picture of the property that you are applying for from the public right away. So you're going to have to actually visit the property and take a picture of it. We do not accept Google Photos. If you upload a Google photo, your application may be rejected. This is just so we know that you know what you're applying for, and not just going by the pictures that's on our website. We also want a copy of that recorded deed to your home. This is important so we know that you are the owner of that home. Also, a copy of a recent utility bill. Again, just to let us know that you are staying in that home. So not only do you own it, but you're actually occupying that property. We also want you to upload your maintenance and development plan, and we'll go over that later just so you'll know exactly what that document is and how to fill it out. If you're a nonprofit or a church that's applying for the lot lease program, a lot of those documents are still the same. The only thing that's different, there are some additional documents. So you'll need an organization authorization letter stating that you have permission to apply for or purchase the property on their behalf. You'll need an organization resolution with the names of the members that the transaction was approved, stating that the transaction was approved. You'll need your organization certificate of formation, your organization's operating agreement, and again, that maintenance and development plan. Going over to the individual application for the Clear Title and the Rehab Ready Shovel Ready program. So again, those documents needed, that current government or state ID, statement explaining delinquency on the properties if that's applicable, pictures of the properties you own in the city of Birmingham, a statement explaining any property violations, pictures of the property that you're applying for. This is usually a bigger issue on the Clear Title and Rehab Ready program versus the lot lease, because there are people that may be from out of state that are applying for these properties and they have not seen it. We want you to put eyes on this property, because if you think you're getting a house and the city goes out and demolish it and now it's a vacant lot, we want you to know that ahead of time before waiting to actually come in state paying your money like, oh, I thought this was a house. So please, please, please visit that property before you submit an application. You'll also need prior experience statements. So if you have had prior experience rehabbing or building a property, we want to know that. If you already have a licensed contractor in mind and they have prior experience, then you can submit that information as well. If you don't have prior experience, let us know. We also need a statement explaining your total anticipated budget. Now, we know a lot of times you may not know exactly how much it's going to cost you to rehab a property right off the bat, but give us your worst case scenario numbers. So I'm applying for this property, and worst case scenario, I'm willing to only put $135,000 into this property. So give us that anticipated budget. We also want proof of funding, and we'll go over a little bit later what that looks like. We want project details, and this is just going to explain from start to finish how you plan on rehabbing or building that property. And again, that maintenance and development plan. If you're applying as a business or nonprofit for the Clear Title and Rehab Ready Shovel Ready program, again, those documents are pretty much the same, except we'll need that organization authorization letter. So basically the same documents that's in that lot lease for the business or nonprofit, you'll need that here as well. An organization resolution with the names of the members that approve the transaction, organization certificate of formation, your organization's operating agreement, but also a City of Birmingham business license. All right, if we're good on that, We're going to stop this one and we're going to head on over back to our website. So again, this is our land bank website. You can click login to be able to access your Slate account. We went over last week of how to find a property, and you just click on the find a property button. If you're wanting to apply for a specific program, you can browse our list by these blue buttons right here on the right, or you can actually go through our actual list of all 934 properties. But if you want to filter it, we also talked about last week of how to filter this map to be able to show everything in your criteria. So after you have submitted your interest form, what happens next? So once our staff reviews your interest form, you'll attend orientation. You'll get an email that tells you the date of orientation and everything that you need to know. Now, orientation is put in place to take a deeper dive into our programs and our processes and our expectations, both for our expectations for you and your expectations from us. So failure to attend orientation will result in your interest form being closed. So please, once you get that email, make sure that you register and attend orientation. You're going to hear from us, you're going to hear from other departments, and that way that you know everything that you need to know before actually purchasing property through the land bank, and there won't be any surprises down the road. So after you attend orientation, you will receive an email from Slate that is inviting you to actually apply for the property. And this right here is what that email will look like. So it says Slate task assigned. These are the latest tasks assigned to you. And you would click on this link here. There's the property address that you apply for, and it'll say whichever application. So if you put in an interest form to apply for this property as an individual, we'll assign the application to you for an individual. But if you apply submitting an interest form as a business or nonprofit, you'll get a business or nonprofit link to be able to fill out that application. Let's see, we are going to go to Slate now. And so this is what it's going to look like. When you log into your Slate account, you'll see this page here. It has the Birmingham Land Bank, Alabama Property and Registration Services. Your submissions will be listed here. So any of the properties that you submitted an interest form for will be listed under My Submissions. And once you get that email about filling out the applications, your task is to fill out the application, so it'll be here under incomplete task. So you see for this property at 1211 27th Place South, I've been assigned the task to fill out an individual application and a business or nonprofit application. Again, you'll get either or. I just have it to be able to show you exactly what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is actually click on the we're going to click on the actual application where it says application individual. And this is what the application look like. So again, have all of those documents ready before you actually submit your application. So I'm just going to fill it out. First name is Jane, last name Doe. Email is janedoe@example.gov. Phone number is 22725555555. Physical address is 710 20th Street North. City, Birmingham. State, Alabama. Zip code 35203. If your mailing address is different, you will fill out this place here on your application. Some people like to use P.O. boxes, so that's why there are two separate fields for this. Are you applying as an individual? Yes. Is the applicant a homeowner or a renter? You'll put either or. Do you have a will for your property instructing your heirs? Please be aware that you will need estate planning before you close on the property. So if you click no, this is not an automatic rejection of your application, but just know that once you get to the closing table, we will need that will. A copy of your current or government or state issued ID. So you'll just click this, click to upload, and I have my driver's license here. You see at the top it says document uploaded. If it was successful, you'll get that notification. Are you a City of Birmingham employee? Yes or no? Identify any family or business partners that are employed with the Birmingham Land Bank or the City of Birmingham. This is just for transparency purposes. Are you actively pursuing property acquisitions through the land bank under any other names or organizations? So if you are applying for multiple properties, or you are currently developing a property that you were already approved for, we want to, and it's under a different name, we want to know that. And you would just list that here. Have you or any entities or businesses in which you hold interest ever failed to pay property taxes on time? So if you have any tax delinquent properties out there or ever had any, we want to know that. So you click yes or no. There's where you would attach that explanation here. If you don't have it, if your answer was no, then you don't have to upload anything here. Have you ever failed to perform an agreement with the Birmingham Land Bank Authority? Be honest. If you have purchased a property from the land bank and you didn't complete your development and we had to purchase it back, or we're trying to get in contact with you, please let us know, yes or no. Even if you put no and that it was actually true, we know. If so, please explain, otherwise skip this question. If applicable, list any properties owned in the City of Birmingham by you or any entities that you control. So here, if you own any properties in the City of Birmingham, we want to know that. And it's we want to see pictures of the properties that you own too, because we want to know if you're taking care of those properties that you own in the city before we give you any other properties. Have you or your business ever received a code violation from the City of Birmingham? So these are like weed lien assessments or any other code violations that the city may have given you. And if so, we want to know why and if that was resolved. Is anyone occupying or maintaining the property? If yes, the property is not eligible for our program. This is important. Once you go out and actually look at that property, if you see any signs of life where there's a car parked there, you see children running around, coming in and out of the house, you see the lights on, if that property is occupied, we will not pursue with letting you purchase that property, because we're not in the business of putting people out of their properties. Have you completed a site visit of the property? And I am aware of the current physical conditions of this parcel. So yes, again, visit that property, look at the conditions of it. If you want to continue on with it, you'll fill out the application. We also want you to contact the city's planning, engineering, and permits department and the zoning department to make sure that what you want to do with this property is doesn't go against the city's it's not going to be in violations with the city. This is to save you down the line. We have had people that say, oh, I want to build a commercial building on this lot, but the lot was actually zoned residential. So you want to make sure that your plans don't go against what the city has zoned for those actual parcels that you are applying for. This is where you will upload your picture of the property that you have, that you're applying for. Again, no satellite images or Google photos. Your intended use for the property, we want to put what you want to do with that property. So if you want to rehab and sell, that's what you'll put there. Or if you want to rehab and rent it out, we want to know what you plan on doing with this property. If you plan to use the property for rental, please provide a monthly income and expense budget for the property and a description of the management procedures, standard lease agreement, and anticipated market to be served. This is just so we know we're not selling properties to anybody that may be slumlords So we just want to know what your plans are for rental. Does your plan use violate what the property is currently zoned for? You won't know that unless you contact PEP and zoning, so make sure you do that. Your expected project completion time. So we require 12 months from your closing date to complete your development. There have been people who have been successful in completing it in less than that amount of time. So we want to know your timeline. If you think you can be done with this property within 6 months of closing, we want to know that. Renovation or construction work will be provided by the following. So again, we want you to have a licensed contractor that's going to work on your actual property. This again is to save you from any headaches down the road from having somebody that's unlicensed that's performing work on your property. Again, this is where that prior experience document is going to go. So you'll just click to upload and you would attach that document there. Please provide your purchase offer amount. So properties with the land bank are going to start at $5,000 and it goes up from there. We'll have a price attached to the properties that you may be interested in. If you don't see a price listed there, then just contact us to let us know. And then you can put in your offer amount, whether you want to go higher or sometimes people want to go lower. So just let us know what your purchase offer amount is. Sewer liens. Are you aware that you will be responsible for sewer liens, if any, and closing costs? So sewer liens, we haven't been successful with being able to actually extinguish the sewer liens completely. But if there is a sewer lien cost that's attached to the property, we'll let you know down the line as well once it comes up. You'll also be responsible for closing costs on that property once you get to the closing table. Your total anticipated renovation cost. So again, we want to go with your worst case scenario number. So put in there what your worst case scenario number is for any renovations. Then you'll upload your total anticipated budget. How would you fund your project? So a lot of people may say a bank statement. They have the money already in their bank account, or they may want to use a pre-approval letter or a loan from a bank. There also been people that have like credit cards that they're using. So we want to know how you're going to fund it, and we want you to upload the proof of that funding. So if you're going to use a bank statement or a credit card statement, redact those statements so we don't get like your account information. And then, or you can use any other type of proof that shows that you have liquid funds readily available. For your project details, just be as detailed as possible. This will just be a summary that you'll type out here. But once you get to this one, if you have any sketches or renderings, then you can upload them. If not, you can upload like a Word document that's going into great details of how you're going to renovate your property. For an example, my name is Jane Doe, and I want the property at 1127 22nd Street North. Once I purchase the property, the first thing that I'm going to do is cut the grass on this property and then secure it so that no one else can come in and out. Within the first month of me purchasing the property, I'm going to fix the roof so that there's no more leaks that comes in. And then I'm going to renovate the interior, starting off with the kitchen. And in the kitchen, I'm going to replace all of the countertops. I'm going to put new flooring down. Then I want to do my electric. So just as an example, that's what we want to see. We want you to be as detailed as possible when it comes to filling out this project details. You're going to type in your name here as an e-signature certifying that you've read this application and that all information within it is true. And then you're going to upload your maintenance and development plan. Now, before we get into that, I just want to show you what this business application looks like as well. So again, with the business application, it's pretty similar until we get to the very bottom of it. And this is where you're going to put, are you applying as a business or nonprofit? You'll click which one. You'll put the name of your business or nonprofit and a key contact person for this applicant. So if that's you or if that's somebody else within your office, you can put that information, that person's name, that phone number, and that email address here. Then these are all of the uploads for those documents that we stated in the beginning that you'll need. So there's that organization letterhead that's authorizing you to apply and purchase for the property. The organization's resolution that showed that this was approved, your certificate of formation, your operating agreement, and your business license that you will upload there. And then also here's a field that you would type in that tells you to place a list of all of the properties that's owned by your organization and the occupancy status of each one. All right, that was a lot, but this all the information that's in this application is important for you to be able to know to make sure that you know what's going on, and then it's important for us too to make sure that everything that you are putting and wanting to do with this property is something that is allowable. So now we'll switch over to our maintenance and development plan, and I'll turn it back over to Ms. Joanne Burrow.
All right. Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was some really good information on what documentations are needed for our lot lease, clear title, and rehab ready programs, as well as how to submit an application. So now let's talk about the maintenance and development plan. The maintenance and development plan is also known as Exhibit B, and it is a part of your contract. So in this example, I'm applying as Miss Landbank. My point of contact is myself. I'm putting the last four of my social. Please do not put your full social. Please don't do that. Any information that is not applicable, just draw a line through. I'm putting my mailing address as well as my physical address, and at least 2 phone numbers if you have them, and your email address. That's usually how we're going to contact you, us and the closing office. Next is the property street address. We also ask for the legal description and the parcel ID number if you have it. If you don't worry about it. We can add that in for you. Okay. My proposed use is as an owner to occupy it. Residential property, if you know of any adults that are going to reside in the property, just put those names and their relationship to you. For the project description, we want to know how long it's going to take you to complete that development. So I just put 365 days because that's the maximum. And then we'll scroll on down to construction readiness. So we would like to know the name and contact information for your contractor. So here is ABC Contractors. You'll put their license number, and we will go to the Home Licensure Board's website, and just to make sure that their license has not expired. We also suggest, and you can do that as well, if you just Google Alabama Home Licensure Board. You can also contact the Better Business Bureau to make sure that your contractor doesn't have any outstanding problems. It's important that you have a licensed contractor because the city requires a valid license to pull permits. So you don't want to run into those problems. for your budget and financial ability to implement your development, just give us an estimate. We know it's not going to be exact, so an estimate is good. We want your funding to match your estimate. So if you say it's going to cost 150,000 to rehab or to build a house, then we want to see that your funding will match that amount. Okay. If it's over 50,000, we would like to see 3 credit references if you have those. And I'm sorry, I forgot to say, having a good plan is beneficial to you because we have a reversionary interest in the properties. So if you don't complete them, it's possible that we can pull that property back, and we don't want to do that. So before you get deep involved, we want you to write out your plan and just think about all of the things that you're going to do or have already done to make sure that this is going to be a good fit. Okay, now we have our Gantt chart. So the Gantt chart, it looks, you know, kind of overwhelming, but it is really, really simple. The first thing after you purchase a property, we want you to make sure that the grass is cut and the property is secured. So you would just draw a line through weeks 1 and 2, if that's how long it's going to take you. Give yourself more than enough time to complete these tasks. Next, you might want to repair the roof. So it might take you week 3 and 4 to do that. After that, I don't know, you may need to do the flooring or install walls or whatever it is. But if you say after you repair the roof, if you say the next thing you're going to do is paint, that doesn't quite make sense, depending on the house now. But we want you to think about what you're doing and how you're going to do it. So this Gantt chart covers 52 weeks. So just take your time, go through each page, and you're going to write down what you're going to do and how long it's going to take you. Now, if you have some other documents like a scope of work or some specs or anything like that, you can include those. But we do want this Gantt chart filled out as we requested. And anything extra that you want to add, you can. So if you have architectural drawings, that will be great too. Okay, and then lastly is the proof of financial ability to implement your development. So that's where your pre-approval letters come in, or if you have approval from a bank or a credit union or financial institution. We will also accept redacted bank statements or credit card statements, but please be sure to cross out your account number, you know, things like that. We need anything that will show that you have readily available or liquid funds. And you must show that you have the money to purchase the property as well as to rehab it. Okay, so that we've given you a lot of information today. I hope that it has helped you and better equipped you to make an informed decision on whether you want to be a part of our mission. So if you have a good plan, a reliable funding source, and a willingness to turn a property from a lemon into lemonade, we look forward to working with you. So next, we're going to have our Executive Director, Caroline Douglas, give our closing remarks. I'm sorry, I forgot. It's time for questions and answers. We do have a few minutes for that. Miss Chelsea, will you start our questions and answers?
Yes, ma'am. I'm opening up the chat now. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat so we can go over them. I see a question from Mr. Kevin Crystal that asks, can you go over how to create an account? So when you're creating an account with the land bank, it's not a general account that you would create. The account creation comes in when you're actually submitting an interest form. So let me see if I can try to share my screen again. So again, when you're creating an account, you would have to actually click on the property that you're interested in and click the apply button for it. I'm going to log out so that you can see what that looks like. Back to our website. Okay, there we are. So I'll click on apply on the website, click on the property, and you would put it, once the property comes up, that you are applying for, this is the information that you will fill in, and this is what creates that account for you. So you have to actually choose a property first before you can, and that is what helps create that account. All right, so the next question I see, do they have to be a general contractor or just a licensed home builder is sufficient?
And so it can be a general contractor, whoever is able to handle that project. But you just want to make sure you contact the city's planning, engineering, and permits department to, and they'll take you through that process.
Okay, the next question is, what happens if you need to change contractors during the project?
So during your project, and we'll talk more about compliance next week, but during your project, we want you to stay in close contact with our compliance manager, that's Mrs. Underwood, Carrie Underwood, as well as our housing rehab specialist, that's Inspector Armand Richardson. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. During the your development process, we want you to make sure you stay in contact with Mrs. Underwood, Carrie Underwood, that our compliance manager, as well as Inspector Armand Richardson. And if you're in the AHOP program, you can reach out to Ms. Kimberly Warren and let them know of any changes that are going on with your development. If you're changing contractors, if you're running into issues, anything like that, please be sure to contact them.
Okay, the next question is, what's our website? And our website is birminghamlandbank.org. So I'll drop that in the chat. It's www.birminghamlandbank.org. Okay, so DeMarcus asked, thank you for the presentation. How do I access the recording from today's meeting and last week? So we actually put all of our recordings on our YouTube page. So I'm going to share my screen again so you can see exactly what that YouTube page looks like. So you can search for us on YouTube at Birmingham Land Bank Authority, and this is our page. We have how to find a property and submit an interest form. That was from last week's live. You'll find that there. And then today's live will be uploaded either by the end of the day today, or it'll be up there tomorrow. Okay. Next question. Hello, other than Fountain Heights, will there be any other neighborhoods coming soon for AHOP? And if so, how soon?
I'll take this one, Chelsea. Thank you for this question. We're starting in Fountain Heights, and we know that if we do it well in Fountain Heights, we can do it in any other neighborhood throughout Birmingham's 99 neighborhoods. So for right now, yes, it's just Fountain Heights, but stay connected with us, and you will know when AHOP is coming to another neighborhood near you. Thank you for that question.
All right, the next question is, I have a nonprofit and submitted an interest form in the name of the nonprofit. Do I also need to submit a form if I may want to apply personally?
Yes. If it's two separate properties, one for your nonprofit is fine, and then one for yourself will be fine.
Okay. Are you able to use a hard money lender to purchase and rehab properties?
Yes.
Okay. How long did you say it takes to get approved for the property once the application is submitted?
We didn't say, Courtney. Don't do that. As soon we promise we're gonna get to your interest form, to your application. We're gonna get to it as soon as possible. Right now, our interest form queue is open till November 24th. So before then, we'll send you a email telling you when you can apply. I'm sorry, when you can attend the mandatory virtual orientation. But as far as a definite date, we just don't have that.
Okay. Does the Birmingham Land Bank do inspections? Uh,
So we have a housing rehab specialist that does inspections for land bank properties once the city has completed their inspections. So our inspector inspects a little differently than the city, but you must have city inspections first before our inspector comes out to approve or not you for a certificate of completion.
okay. What is the difference between shovel ready and or clear title?
So our shovel ready program properties have already had their titles cleared. So those are properties that we own. For clear title, they still have to go through a legal process called a quiet title. So those properties will take longer for us to sell to you.
Okay. Do you all have any recommendations of peoples or programs where someone can work with to become mortgage ready?
Thank you, Chelsea. I answered that question in the chat, but you can work with organizations like NACA, or you can work with organizations like Neighborhood Housing Services to get mortgage ready.
Okay. Do you have a mailing list to receive updates when new properties are added? So I'll take this one. We do have a newsletter on our website. If you go to our homepage and scroll down, you can click to be, it's a button that says stay connected, and it will add you to our newsletter. So anytime that we're opening up our interest form or having events, you'll get updates then. Are there any restrictions on demolishing the property and rebuilding?
Yes. So please be sure to contact the condemnation and demolition department on the second floor of City Hall.
Last question I see is there was a house demo last year, but I do not see it on your list. Where do I find information on this lot? So if you know the address to the property that you're interested in and you don't see it on our list, just send us an email to our land bank email address. I'll drop that in the chat. It's landbank@birminghamal.gov. Send us an email of that actual to that actual address, and then we'll look it up to see what's going on with that property. Sometimes the property may not be a land bank property, but a city of Birmingham property, and or might have been a privately owned property. So just send us the address, and we'll let you know what's going on with that particular property. All right, if that's all the questions we have, I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Joanne.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Chelsea. And again, we want to thank you for attending today. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Douglas to do our closing.
Thank you, Miss Joanne. Chelsea, pop back on for a quick second. I want to address Miss Tawanda Harris's question. And I think maybe Miss Harris needs us to go from our website to Slate. So Miss Tawanda, you asked, what's the website that we go to look at the lots? So if you can, Chelsea, let's go straight to the homepage. This will be a good walkthrough for everybody. So when you pull up our homepage, we want to show you how you get to the property. So Ms. Tawanda, I hope you're still on so that you will benefit from this answer. So here's our website. If you know what you're looking for, or you just want to go straight to find a property, there's this orange button under our mission that says find a property. If you can go back, Chelsea, real quickly, I just want to, there you go, right there where her finger is. All right, go ahead and click that, find a property. You will then see a pop-up. It'll describe our programs. It'll tell you a little about everything. You can X out in that upper right-hand corner. And now here is our property database. So Ms. Tawanda, I hope that answers your question. We didn't want to skip over that, but I want to make sure you knew how to navigate from our website to our property list. Listen, everybody, I'm so glad you joined us. I am really excited that you took your time on a Friday. It's a beautiful day outside. I hope all of you had a great week. In the beginning, I asked everybody to drop your neighborhood where you live in Birmingham or where you grew up. There's 99 neighborhoods. And so far, we got Riley that's leading, and we have North Birmingham that's leading. So if you weren't on when I asked that question, go ahead and drop it in the chat, because the neighborhood with the most mentions will get a shout out on our social media pages. We just want to let everyone know who was in the room, but who was really represented. When we did our program recap, I hope you took note that when there's a vacant lot in the city that can be leased, we're calling all churches, all nonprofits, all neighbors who live next door to a vacant lot. We need you in this program. For Quiet Title and Rehab Ready, we are calling all experienced and first-time rehabbers. We want you to get involved. And for AHOP, if you're ready to build your personal home, this one's not for investors. This one's not for developers. This is really for people who want to move and live in a home that you built yourself, or that we connect you to a builder to build. AHOP is for you. So I also want you to pay attention to the information that's requested. Chelsea went through a lot of information. Now, somebody in this presentation is going to say, why do you guys want all this information? Listen, we want you to be in the best position possible to not just purchase, but complete your project. Not to just start, but to finish the project. And the best way for us to do that is to make sure you have all this information up front. And trust us when we tell you, you'll be better for it. Also, bring your questions to our next session. We're going to be talking about next steps. We're going to be talking about compliance. We're also going to do a bit more of a Q&A and maybe give you some tips along the way. So don't miss it. Invite everybody you know. Tell everybody you know that Land Bank will be in the same place at the same time next Friday. Also, pay attention to what Ms. Joanne shared with you for that maintenance and development plan. Use those links that I dropped in the chat. Go to the Better Business Bureau. Check on your current contractor. See if they're actually licensed. Come to the city's permitting, engineering, and planning department to see if you have everything that you need. We want you to be prepared and we want you to be inspired. So until next Friday, take care and we will see you again soon. Thank you, everybody.